Hello and welcome back to the Geordie Pig Investor channel, where we dive deep into the world of dividend investing to help you build a portfolio that pays you. Whether you're just starting out or looking to maximize your passive income, this channel is your go-to resource for strategies, insights, and the tools you need to grow your wealth steadily over time. Hit that subscribe button and join me as we explore how to make your money work for you, one dividend at a time. In today's video, I'll be going through all the stocks I have bought and sold in the month of February. This is a video that's been requested a few times, and I thought if it seems to be a popular one, then I can continue showing you all the buys and sells each month, as you all know how I like to be as transparent as possible on this channel. This was a really interesting and action-packed month as I sold out of a few ETFs and stocks and reallocated the capital elsewhere. I'm very excited to go through these with you all and hear your thoughts on my decisions. Since doing this, I feel my portfolio is aligning better with my personal goals, and I'm really happy with the changes I've made. I'll go into this more at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, let's get straight into it and see what stocks I sold in the month of February. First up, the first stock I sold in February was my ETF, the Vanguard FTSE Developed World. I had 31.45 shares, sold them for a total amount of £2,767 for a total profit of plus £158.23. The second stock I sold in the month of February was my Realty Income position. I actually sold out of the entire position and sold all 19 shares for a total amount of £823.10 to have a total profit on the position at £24.12. These are not including the dividend payments that I did receive on my position, so bear that in mind as well, as I did receive dividends for all these stocks that I'll show you today that I did sell out of. And the reason for selling out of Realty Income was simply because I am very young and going to be in the markets for at least the next 20 to 30 years. So for now, I want to have stocks that have a higher growth potential rather than ones that are more of a steady income that I could look to have later down the line when I need to be spending that passive income for myself. The third stock that I sold in the month of February was actually BP. I sold 279 shares for an amount worth £1,295.79 for a total profit of plus £32.30. And the reason I sold out of BP is simply because I had two stocks in the UK that are based in the oil and gas industry, one being BP and the other one being Shell. And after doing my stock analysis on both of these companies, with BP having a slight rise earlier in the month, I was very happy to sell out for a slight profit on this position and then just only hold on to Shell, as I don't feel I need two different oil and gas stocks from the UK within my portfolio. Like I said, I sold out for a slight profit, so I was very happy with that, and I also received some decent dividends from this company in the time that I held it, which also led to some more profit. The next stock that I sold in the month of February was actually Nike, stock ticker NKE. I actually sold my entire position of 22 shares for a total amount of £1,396.85. I made a profit of just under £100, and the reason for selling out of this position is because I actually bought into Nike when it was under $70 per share, and I always had the intention to sell when it rose above $80, as I saw it as being very cheap at the time. And Nike had some really good recent reports and it rocketed above that $80 mark, so I felt it was the right time to sell out, as that was my goal sell price. Finally, for February, we had one more stock that I sold some shares out of, and this actually wasn't the full position. It was just 4 shares of my Starbucks stock. The reason I sold out on these 4 shares was because I saw opportunities elsewhere and wanted to reallocate that capital. So by selling out of these 4 shares, I was to see a £100 profit and then able to reallocate that capital into a different stock that I'll show you later in this video. So that is all of the sells for the month of February. Now let's have a look at the buys. First one being Greencoat UK Wind. I bought a total of 650 shares this month in this stock for a total amount of just over £1,000, bringing my new position total to £2,059.05. I then bought into the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, where I bought 24.5 shares, total amount being £2,243.84, meaning my new position size is now £7,489.36. I bought into this one because I buy into this every single week, and after selling out of my Vanguard VEVE ETF, I wanted to reallocate the majority of that capital into 2 of my main ETF positions. The other ETF position that I mainly put that money into was the next one coming up, which was the JP Morgan Global Growth and Income ETF. stock ticker JGGI. I actually bought 369 shares of this stock for a total amount of £1,963.34. My new position size now in the JP Morgan Global Growth and Income is £4,830.72. The next stock I bought in the month of February was actually Pepsi. I bought 6 shares of this stock as I saw the nice dip in the price for a total amount of £697.91, bringing my new position size in this stock to £1,671.80. I then bought into BAE Systems, where I bought a total of 24 shares for a total amount of £286.18, bringing my new position size to £1,550.84. This was where the majority of that Starbucks capital was reallocated, alongside it being reallocated into the next stock, which was SafeStore Holdings. I bought 15 shares of this stock for a total amount of £90, bringing my new position size to over £1,780 now. The final 2 positions that I added to in the month of February were Alphabet, stock ticker GOOG, where I bought 6.85 shares for a total amount of just over £1,000, bringing my new position size to now £1,357.49. Again, with this stock, I saw it at such a great price this month, and it's actually continued to drop, so I've continued to buy into the start of March and hope it continues to drop further so I can just bring that average cost price down. And now you can see it's worth over £1,350, and the goal with this stock is to make it one of the bigger positions in my portfolio, as I see them as a very strong long-term growth play. I then bought 5 shares of National Grid for a total cost of £47.96. Just a small top up on this position to now being worth over £1,100. And the reason for this being that I believe they were at a very nice price last month, and if they continue to dip, I'll hopefully add a little bit more in the following month as well. Then we have the final 2 stocks in the month of February. First one being Microsoft. Similar to National Grid, it had a bit of a dip in price, so I tried adding a little bit to this position. So I bought 0.4 shares, a total price of £125.98. So now my new position size is £455.52. I hope to continue adding to Microsoft, as I believe this stock is a brilliant one to have in my portfolio for the long term, and I do want this stock to be one of the bigger positions in my portfolio. Finally, we added a new position into the portfolio. That was none other than Greggs. I ended up adding 11 shares of Greggs to the portfolio for a total cost of £232, and I'm hopefully going to continue adding to this stock over the coming months to make it around about a 2 to 3% allocation in my overall portfolio value. So as you've saw today, I've had a very busy February and ended up buying over £7,700 worth of shares, but also sold out of over £6,600 worth, meaning overall I added just over £1,000 to the portfolio. This was mainly down to selling out of a couple bigger positions so that I could reallocate that capital and really focus on narrowing down my own personal investing goals, and since doing this, I'm really happy with the overall balance of the portfolio. Hopefully moving forward, I won't now need to do as much reallocating within my portfolio, so my sells will be to a minimal. Now let's have a look at all of my main objectives moving forward for 2025. In this part of the video, I'm going to break down some key points for my investing strategy moving forward, and although you'll probably agree that it is very simple for the most part, I really do think it helps to write it down and remind yourself of what your goals are moving forward. First up is that I want to consistently add money every payday, so I always pay myself first into my ISA account. This is so important to do, as it means you can get used to not seeing or having this money come payday, and really turns investing into a good habit. Next up is consistently adding weekly contributions towards my 2 main ETFs, VUSA and JGGI, working on them both being around 40% of my overall portfolio. Right now they sit at close to 1/3 of my overall portfolio, which I'm really happy with. I have this as a main goal for 2025, as it's important to ignore market noise, and every Monday, regardless of what's happening in the world, I know that I will add around £100 between these 2 ETFs. I then know that if I don't want to buy anything else that week, I have done my bare minimum purchases and will slowly build towards them becoming 40% of the portfolio. A real big goal of mine over the last 6 months has been to trim my portfolio to under 25 overall stocks and ETFs. After some careful considerations and reevaluations within my portfolio, I can now say that it is comfortably under this number, being at 22. This is a big one for me personally, as I feel you can get carried away with adding stocks and ETFs to your portfolio, and it may seem good at the time, but long term I feel it can become a bit of a mess and really hard to keep on top of everything within your portfolio. Having said this, with it now being 3 positions under my limit, if I do see a position like I did with Greg's last month, I know I can add, but I'll be extremely cautious and selective when looking to add stocks moving forward. Next up is to continue to add to my growth and income stocks when I see their price as a good buying opportunity. With having a portfolio size that I feel is manageable really helps me to keep on top of it, so if I feel a stock is undervalued and I have capital available, then I know I can bolster that position within my portfolio. I will always try to buy good quality stocks at a discounted price where possible. And finally, it is to continue striving to have a good balance between growth and income stocks in my portfolio. Right now, my portfolio sits at a 3.3% dividend yield and has a 5-year dividend growth rate at 7.7%, so both in the ranges that I want. Again, this is just something to consistently track to make sure it stays within my personal portfolio ranges. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. If you're building a portfolio for passive income and financial freedom, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you never miss an update. What are your own 2025 investment strategies, and do you have a clear goal with your portfolio? Let me know in the comment section down below. Until next time, keep compounding and stay patient in the market, because your future self will thank you. For now, this is the Geordie Pig Investor, over and out.